mynews.studio.
In 2025, a podcast built on recycled stories suddenly tops the charts. Does that mean content strategy needs a rethink?
Today is 2025, 0620. Let's start simple. With over 5 million podcasts out there, how does a show really stand out? Is it about technology, the host's personality, or is it something more basic?
It's always about knowing your audience. You can have top-notch equipment and impressive guests, but if you don't know who you're talking to, or why, they'll move on. Who are they? What challenges are they facing? What do they want from your show?
So first step, set your goals. Are you aiming to inform, entertain, establish authority, or maybe build a community? How do you figure out which direction to take?
It depends on what you do best and what your audience wants. If you have expertise, lean into that authority. If listeners want connection, focus on community. The key is being honest about your purpose and making it clear in every episode.
Which brings us to value. What unique angle or expertise do you bring that others don't? With so much competition, how can you really stand out?
Sometimes it's a fresh perspective, or maybe it's a novel format. You might feature voices not often heard or structure your episodes differently. The important part is to define your difference and stick to it.
Let's talk about episode structure. What does a well-crafted episode look like to you?
Begin with a hook, give people a reason to stay. Then build interest, maybe some tension. Provide context so no one feels lost. And always resolve things by the end. Even with interviews, don't be afraid to edit. Chronological order isn't always the best story.
So is that why narrative podcasts, even the ones built on interviews, often feel so polished? They're edited for story, not just for the timeline?
Exactly. You're not just reporting facts. You're leading the listener. It's about engagement, not just information.
Next challenge, consistency. How do you keep up the quality and the schedule without burning out?
Set a schedule you can actually keep. Maybe that's daily, maybe monthly. Just make sure it fits your capacity and matches what your audience expects. Never overpromise.
And audio quality, still as important as ever?
Maybe even more important now. Poor audio turns people away instantly. And don't forget detailed show notes. They help people decide if your episode is what they're looking for.
What if you run out of news stories?
That happens. Repurposing is smart. You can turn an old episode into a blog post, a video clip, an audiogram, even an infographic. Or revisit a previous topic with new insights or updates. It's a way to bring in new listeners and offer more to your longtime fans.
So it's not just recycling, it's recontextualizing. But don't you eventually need new material?
Absolutely. That's where finding new sources matters. Invite experts, get listener submissions, do original interviews. Even a simple Q&A can spark new ideas. And keep an eye on trends. What's happening in your field?
What about format? Should you always stick to interviews or mix things up?
Mixing it up helps. Panel discussions, listener Q&A, deep dives into themes. They each bring something different. Plus, they help when you don't have a big story ready.
How do you make your show accessible to a wider audience?
Think about language and culture. Maybe do an episode in another language, or focus on topics relevant to different groups. The point is to meet people where they are.
And trust, how is that built with listeners?
By being transparent. Label sensitive topics, offer content warnings, and be upfront about sponsorships or ads. Listeners value honesty.
Promotion, last piece of the puzzle. How do you actually get your show noticed?
Social media is one way, but also look at cross-promotion with other podcasts. Short video clips can grab attention on places like Instagram or YouTube. The goal is to show up wherever your audience is.
So, to sum up, know your audience, define your purpose, structure episodes well, stay consistent, repurpose content, seek new sources, vary your format, be inclusive, build trust, and promote widely. Did I leave anything out?
That's the roadmap. It's not about doing everything, but about doing the right things and doing them consistently.
That's a wrap for today. We started with a show that recycled stories and ended with a plan for building a podcast that lasts.
Thanks for joining us. Whether you're starting out or reinventing your show, remember, strategy is what makes great content possible.
Thank you for listening. This episode was powered by mynews.studio. Try it now, free.